So what I'm going to talk about now is not running out of things to say. What they call in real social dynamics, the old company that Owen Cook used to own, the $1 Million Mouthpiece. And really it comes down to not judging what you're talking about. So you could just talk about basically whatever comes to your mind, and nothing is too not good enough. Nothing's too low value that you can't just blurt it out. Actually, what you want to become is a blurter. So you just want to blurt whatever comes out in your head. Obviously, like, try and not be offensive. But at the same time, sometimes when you just take off that filter that you're using to fit in with everyone around you, it creates like a watered down personification of yourself. When you take that filter off and you just become fully yourself, aside from being more polarizing to people, you're also a lot more polarizing in the sense you either liked or not liked. Aside from that, you become a lot more likable. You're a lot more human and relatable, and refreshing for that matters, because a lot of people, when they meet someone for the first time, or when they're meeting people out on the street, dealing with this fake persona that people put on because they're not brave enough to actually be who they really are. So it gets a bit tiring when you're filtering out all these fake personas every day, all day, and you finally meet someone that's not, you're having like using like these catchphrases or whatever to be liked, and like speaking in a way that's, you know, trying to be cool and trying to fit in, trying to be fun. And people are masters at detecting the bullshit fakeness that 99% of people have when they're out and about anyway. So if you're able to actually take off that mask, that filter, which is what's the scary part, because then you're actually being who you really are. You don't want to be judged by who you really are. That's when you're actually going to get accepted, and you're going to generate a genuine attraction with people that are worthy of attracting, that will like you for you as well. And guess what? It's a much more liberating experience when you can finally just take off that filter and take off that mask and just be yourself. It's so much more gratifying. You're basically being exactly who you're meant to be, and you're sharing that personality with the world, and you're getting real-time feedback on your personality with people in the real world. They're giving you feedback on what they like and what they don't like. And when you're actually being genuine and who you really are, and you're getting positive feedback for that, it's going to reinforce them types of behaviours. So it's going to reinforce that taking off the filter behaviour. Apart from it being 10 times more fun to actually be who you really are and to take off that filter, you're going to generate a lot of attraction for people that are actually people that will interest you, to be attracting them. It's in your interest to attract them, because they're either high value people, or, you know, high value people put you in good connections, put you in contact with people that are also high value, help you create a business, help you create something for yourself. This is how you got to move in the world. And look at me, look, I'm walking through thousands of people here, and I don't give a single fuck. Like, obviously it takes a lot of going out and repeating to get to this point where you just don't give a fuck. It's not, unless you're actually like some sort of, you know, someone that's let's just call it mental illness, someone that's got a mental illness. But most of us are not functioning in that way, are we? So you'll be stuck at home watching videos on YouTube all the time, you know, like going out, doing your 2 hours of approaches on Friday and Saturday night. Really what you want to do is take on this belief as someone that you are, so that you don't have to go out and practice on Friday and Saturday, and then you put on this mask of, you know, like the cool fun guy on Friday and Saturday, but then Sunday to Thursday you're some geek or whatever, but you're not that guy that you're trying to portray. What you want to do is practice just taking off a filter in your day-to-day with everyone that's around you. That's when you really get used to it eventually, and then you just become that. You become real. You become the real person. That's the goal here. That's what I'm talking about when I'm trying to say, you know, be your highest self, have high vibes and that. Because it's important. It's important to have the values when you're attaining this level of social freedom and control. When you attain this kind of level of control, I don't want to show people this irresponsibly so that they can then use it to manipulate people. Now I want this to be shown in a positive light so that people that are learning it can use it in a positive way and spread positivity and love, you know, not more fucking bullshit that's already being spread left, right and centre all around the world. So yeah, that's why I heavily resonate with Mr. Owen Cook. I love that guy, man. And for you guys that don't, or that hate him, I recommend you give him a second chance and have a little look at what he puts out, because the message he always puts out is a positive message. I've never seen him put out any negativity. Of course, he's a human being, and for sure he has sometimes flaws and fuck ups like everybody. But you should definitely give him a second chance if you've been told by someone second hand that he's not someone, well, basically he's a bad person. You should definitely give a listen to what he's talking about, because it's good. And you won't catch him chatting shit, talking down to anyone as well, which is strange, because most people that teach this type of stuff are shitting on other people that are teaching this type of stuff, and it's pathetic, really. I resonate a lot more with Owen Cook. You know, just get on with your shit and don't worry about if other people are doing the right or giving the right or the wrong advice. I don't compare myself to other people. I just do my work and worry about my work and worry about my results, and that's it. I don't worry about what other people are doing. I don't talk about other people. And that's why I talk about standing straight with your shoulders back and speaking loudly so that everyone can hear you. If you talk to them, okay, that's important. You got to project your voice so that people can hear you, because a lot of the times you guys are just talking too fucking low and nobody's hearing what you're saying. That's the problem. And then you think that people don't like you or whatever. No, they just can't hear you. They don't have time to stop and actually stop their day to hear what shy bullshit you got to say, you know. You've actually got to project and give out a bit of energy if you want any kind of energy to be given back to you anyway. What you put out is what you get back. So that's it. That's the thing, you know. You stand up straight, you speak loud, and you kind of stop giving a F about what people think, you know. And you just walk through the world, be yourself. People resonate with you that resonate with you, and people that don't resonate with you, that it's not your fault, you know. It's not your problem. It just is what it is. It's part of life. So, or better to be disliked for who you are than to be liked for who you're not. That's the thing. But yeah, that's why I hammer on about all these concepts, because you get to a point where you actually just don't give a fuck about other people's opinion of you. You're just going to be who you are. So that's why I want whoever listens to this and takes note of what I'm talking about to actually leave a positive impact, you know. Be positive. That's why I'm saying connect with nature and be on that side. Look after the animals, look after the innocent people. Be a force for good in the world, in a world where there's already an abundance of evil forces wherever you go. Obviously as well, there's an abundance of positive, but it's not so, I don't think it's so, doesn't stand out as much. I think the evil, the negativity stands out a lot more. it's easier to it catches the eye quicker. That's why a lot of this fakeness on Instagram and all that's the hype at the moment. You know, all this like turkey teeth, and I'm sorry for all you people that have got turkey teeth and fake tans and put in the fake hair and all that. I'm not saying you guys are evil, but I mean, your age, okay, yeah, look after your image, but aging is a natural process and you shouldn't fight it, or at least embrace it, and just at least don't try and be some fucking, basically end up putting a mask on, a permanent mask on that you can't take off. That's just sad at the end of the day. That's depressive. That's when you really have negative, just, I mean, imagine what your self-image is if you've got to wear a permanent mask to feel good enough to go out into the world. What do you really think of yourself deep down? A lot of people probably haven't got the courage to actually stop what they're doing and go and take a good hard look at the mirror to what they've become, you know, with all the plastic and shit that they put in themselves. But yeah, that's why you got to just be consistent. That's it. Consistency, strong frame, work hard, train hard, stand up straight, and speak loud. Obviously, don't scream at people, but speak loud enough so that people can hear you at least. And that's it. The $1 million mouthpiece is not judging what you're saying, not judging yourself. I'm not saying you don't have to fill the space, the empty space of you know, the conversation always with noise. What you've got to do is embrace the silence as well, but don't judge what you're saying. That's the thing. If you judge yourself and you think, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, that's when you get stuck in your head and it spirals down very fast and you end up just falling into whoever's frame that you're talking to is. So you just got to not judge yourself, and when they see that you don't judge yourself as well, they're going to be falling into your frame. Basically, that's how easy it is. You know, you just, I mean, especially if you get to the point where you just talk because you find it entertaining to express what's on your mind, and you get to that point where you just want to talk because you want to share the funny moment or whatever it is. That's when you're really on a level of social interaction that a lot of people want to be on. So that's when you start really generating real attraction, because people want to be around that energy. They want to be that themselves. They want that to rub off on them. They want to be able to do the same thing that you're doing, you know, where you're just riffing off the top of your head. The things that are coming out of your mouth are just unfiltered and what you find's funny. And plus you're bringing in other people in on the joke, and not in a disrespectful way, but in a funny and friendly way. That's money, that is right there. That's money, that's sales, that's attraction, that's everything. That's everything that most people want to be able to do when they are stuck in their house and they're scared of. That's anti-social anxiety, basically. Anti-social anxiety. I don't know if I've heard that one, but that's what it is. And that's what you want to do. That's what I'm saying. Break free from the mental prison. People are so stuck in their heads. If you can break free and then help other people get out of their heads, you'll basically become like a person with a pot of gold, and you're handing out gold to people on the street for free, and everyone's going to love you for it. This is why I also hammer on about being economizing the maximum and spending as little amount of money as possible, and stop being a chump buying designer clothes and wasting your money on shit that you don't need and that's not going to serve you. If you take care of yourself and you look after your food intake and you do a good amount of exercise, you're going to be in decent shape and a $4 t-shirt and a pair of $10 trousers and some fucking $40 or pound or euro, whatever shoes, Adidas shoes, are gonna look fucking millionaire. You're gonna look like a millionaire in them. Do you know what I mean? So then you don't waste your money on the shit that you don't need. That's basically part of the negative shit that I talk about anyway, of impressing people on the surface, and you take the power back in your own hands basically, and then you don't have to rely on some fucking overlord ruling your life or some boss taking the decisions for you in your own life. I mean, obviously you've got to make money to survive, but if you economize to the maximum, then you'll be able to save money a lot quicker than most people, or eventually you'll save enough money to then be able to have a little bit of fuck you money in the bank. And then you can actually afford to do these things that I'm talking about, where I'm saying, you know, you can just actually be yourself and break free. That's why everything that I talk about all kind of focuses on the same topic at the end of the day, which is pretty much freedom. It all kind of funnels down towards freedom. That's the thing. If you're relying on a job, relying on a boss, or relying on people, not taking care of yourself, not doing what's best for your own health and your own mental efficiency, you're doing everything basically wrong. Handing your soul over to the mainstream, let's just call it the mainstream. You're handing it over on a platter. You're giving it to them like a chump, and that's your most valuable thing. Like I heard the man himself say, Owen Cook. He said, they asked him, I saw like on an Instagram reel, whatever it is, they asked him, what do you think the purpose of the human being is? And he said something like the ascension of the soul, or something like that. The ascension of the soul. So that's what our most valuable possession is then. Or it's not even a possession, that's our most valuable piece of us that we have. That's what you've got to protect with all your life force. That's the only thing that we'll ever take with us. That's why I'm also preaching, you know, do good, do good. That's why I'm preaching it. This is why it all ties in together. That's why I say, you know, look after what you eat, train hard to increase your mental acuity. You know, eat good food so that you think clearly. Do you think you can just go walk through a big crowd like that and just start talking to yourself into a camera with the mental fuzziness? And there's no chance that you could do that. If you try it, go out there and try it. Just give it a try. See how far you can get. I just want to see, like, even if you could even pull out your phone and talk into it. I wonder. It takes a little bit of practice. I'm not saying it takes all your life, but at least, you know, a good couple, depending on who you are and what your background is. But that's why I hammer on about all these concepts, you know, looking after yourself and doing everything you can to improve yourself the maximum possible, you know, because then you can perform in that level. Mental sharpness, switch your brain on. But to have the benefits of switching your brain on, you've got to have everything A star, you know, so that then you can really perform like a Ferrari.